Okay, so I'm going to show you the difference between new cue with changes and new cue with all. And it's going to be very important for you to understand this because of how we're doing our spotlight system. Here we have my center lights, my two side lights, and then of course the balconies. But I noticed when I was programming that these two different types of scenes that you save have a very big impact on your lights. Now, I'll show you the first one. Now this is just random light. I'll turn it on. It has the curtain light in front and then like a stage light. So I'll go ahead and give a couple lights on the stage. Now you can see the lights are on. And typically what would happen before is you would go into the next light sequence and it would turn off your spotlights. But what I found out is if you only do new cue with changes, or that button right there, whenever you make your new lights, it says fade to lights. For example, what I did was I turned down the dimmer for the curtain, which is just two of the light sections. I pressed new cue with changes, and then that was my light cue. Now, if you go ahead and press it, my spots are still on, even though it's a new light scene. And here I'll show you another thing. This is the new cue with all changes. You gotta be very careful not to pick this because, for example, so we'll turn those back on. Okay, the curtain lights are back on, my spots are still on. And if you press, when you're doing your scenes and you press this, fade cue with all, then that's where you're gonna run into a problem. You can see it says fade 18 lights. You press go, it turns off everything, including your spotlights. So that's a thing to keep in mind when you're programming your lights, because if you try to take these down, it's gonna jump up real quick as you're going down, and it looks really bad. So make sure that you know the difference between changes and all when you're doing your light scenes.